Did you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin
but
Man?
I know.
I don't know.
But I know the Cookie Monster.
Oh, how's that cookie taste?
Okay. I was obsessed with Cookie Monster growing up.
Oh my God. I think I was too.
First of all, my favorite color, blue. How could I not be? 2, cookies were my favorite and continue to be. I have a cookie in front of me right now. My favorite foods. And I had a dance. For those of you who are on YouTube, get ready for this. You ready? Are you ready for this dance?
I'm ready.
I have to take these off because I'm about to shock my face.
Go for
it.
She is currently popping her pussy. She's popping her oh my God, Beth.
Yeah, I know.
She's throwing it back.
A lot of skill.
Holy
to sway
shit.
back and forth.
Okay, we might get demonetized for that one.
What was that? Sorry?
We might get demonetized for that one. I was telling them what you were doing in the audio.
You know what? I didn't know I was stealing basic swaying moves.
That's not what I told them.
Wait, what did you say?
I was like, oh my God, she's popping her pussy. She's shaking that ass so hard.
I can't wait for the YouTube people to expose you for the liar that you are.
Never. That's exactly what you did. But this is Hot Mess Moment Season 3, biatches. Oh my God. For those who don't know, we are Hot Mess Moments.
So hot. Such a mess. Such a moment.
I hate that still, even into Season 3. But my name is Dylan Zahner, also known as 8-Bit Dylan, and Lost is my favorite show, but I've never seen The Nanny.
And I'm Beth Dixon, also known as Augusta Wind11, and The Nanny is my all-time favorite show, but I've never seen Lost before. And we are so excited. We finally made it to Season 3. Last night, we watched both episodes that we're going to cover of The Nanny, and then both episodes that we're going to cover for Lost another time, not tonight.
Some at some point, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah. And whoa, we got so many good things to talk about. But before we get into all of that, Dylan, how has your week gone?
Yeah.
Are you stoked to embark on this Season 3 journey?
Yeah, I have some thoughts and feelings, and I think you might not like them, but I think you also might like some.
Especially if it's about the second episode, I'm with you.
Yeah, definitely the second episode. But I went on a fitness journey this weekend.
Oh, good for you.
In 2 ways. One, I worked out my patience playing Elden Ring, which is amazing. She almost spit up seltzer water.
I had a mouthful of seltzer. That's not a normal liquid to have in your mouth just resting there. That's a lot of bubbles. And I had to make sure I either didn't drown or spew it all over the place.
I think you should have spewed it all over the place. I think the viewers would have loved that.
Would have been ruined.
No, I also went to the gym Saturday. I was like, I have been super hesitant to go because of COVID, and I still am pretty hesitant, but I'm trying to do I'm doing this thing called social distancing while at the gym. I know, weird, right? I'm making sure I don't take a treadmill that's next to someone, or if I'm in a weightlifting area, I'm trying to stay away from them. And so because of my work, we have this program called TWIC, which allows us to get these wellness points every month that we can spend them on fitness apps, free massages. Twitch is awesome. It's this really cool program. I even got this fitness watch that I never use anymore, but I got this fitness watch because I was like, I'll try it out. Honestly, the one that I have is pretty shit. It doesn't accurately count steps, and it's kind of a mess. It's kind of, I don't like it. But anyway.
Well, stop wearing it while you jerk off.
I know, that's my fault. Apparently, technology can't work around masturbating, apparently. What the fuck? You're like, I have not walked 5,000 steps. What the fuck?
But I did aggressively masturbate today.
It's funny because it says I walked 5,000 steps, but I also can't walk after.
Also, I have carpal tunnel today. I don't know what's going on.
My forearms are burning.
They are ripped.
Well, speaking of arms, I did an arm workout this weekend. I did arms, abs, and back.
Okay.
And I must have went hard because I can't straighten my arms. Like it literally hurts like what? It hurts so much.
Well, you know what's good for that?
Yeah.
Besides stretching.
I've been stretching all day like this, trying to get it.
It is to do a very light workout of some of those muscle groups. So depending on what you did for exercise, for example, if like you did legs and you did squats, then doing a few squats without any like body weight or like with just body weight is like really helpful because it helps to loosen up the lactic acid buildup.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I've been running my arms under hot water and then stretching them and and then also like I'll do something like this while I'll push in my elbow and I'll just like move it like this to get it loosened up. I'm like an old man, just got to get my stuff moving again.
Well, it's you start off and you build up, and then soon enough. I say this as someone who is literally struggling so hard to be motivated to work out. Like I did a 23-minute, super easy, really not that bad yoga session, but my goal with my dietitian, who's turned into like my therapist, is very much to be like make a move.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the pain.
I can't deal with you. You're like, it hurts.
I laugh through pain all the time.
I'd rather watch I know that we're not doing Lost, but oh God. I can Jack fucking smile? I'm going to sound like a man talking to a woman. Can you just fucking smile?
Can we get more clips of him running into plexiglass
That was
walls?
the best fucking thing of all time. We will go into, if that isn't the still that you use for the thumbnail.
If I can find it, I will.
Oh, I don't care if you can find it. What you're going to do is go to Hulu. You're going to pause on that thing. You're going to take a screenshot. And then I'm just kidding. It's so good. But we will get more into that. Oh my gosh. I have okay, side note, this is amazing. I have 3 lights on my PC, right? They're like 3 little rings. The bottom one never comes on anymore. It's on right now.
Oh my God. It's a 3rd season miracle. It knows. It knows.
Okay, I have another question for you.
Yes.
Are you
gay?
That's not a question.
The answer is no.
Are you interested in women sexually and romantically? No.
Sorry.
No, fuck. I lost the question. Oh, are you watching UK versus the World Drag Race?
No. I have not been watching Drag Race. I know what happens in it. So when I know I'm not going to watch a season, I will just spoil myself on everything. Yeah.
So for this is going to be a bit of a spoiler if you haven't watched the episode that came out on like the 22nd of February, then just go through about 10 seconds. Oh my God, Dylan, when Pangina Heels is eliminated from this past episode.
I know.
The crying.
Yeah. It hit.
It's the editors are fucking shady as fuck. She's wailing backstage and you can hear RuPaul go, and RuPaul's like, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anyone? And I'm like, oh my God.
Jesus.
But I was just, oh God.
It's
trying to do
it's interesting. I always feel weird about Drag Race because they introduce so many reality show components to it, but they don't treat it like a reality show. So like, it's weird. Like, that's why I prefer shows like Dragula, because while it is a reality show, it's based off of your talent. Right. And in Drag Race, they obviously for drama purposes, they want it to be about like Who are you friends with? Do you have alliances? Yada, yada, yada. But then when it comes to eliminations, people are rallied against for treating it like a reality show and getting rid of the strong competitors. Like,
if any of y'all are listening to the RHAP stuff that came out this week, y'all know that I was fully like, good. I'm happy that I mean, I'm not happy Pangina got eliminated, but I'm also like, good, because they're playing the game. And also, secondly,
Pangina would have won.
Was the worst in the challenge. So there was.
And if they didn't get rid of Pangina would have won.
100%. So, and I have to, like, here's the thing. Drag Race is not where you go to get validation for your drag, even if it's All-Stars and you've already been there.
If you do, that's so toxic.
That's so toxic. And also, fans, Drag Race is not the pinnacle of drag. Like, it's the most mainstream thing of drag. But if you want to explore drag now that you've got a really closed off interpretation of one form of it, then you have to go out and support your local artists.
Queens,
you can go online and support queens. Like, there's so many different ways to do so. But the whole point being, I live for the moments where Drag Race as a television series isn't manufacturing drama, but they are. Like, I hate when they do that. That's stupid. But I love when they take raw emotion and they're so fucking shady with it. Like, Pangina fucking like crying backstage. And like, believe me, it's heartbreaking. And you just have RuPaul going, if you can't love yourself, how the hell? And Blue Hydrangea, who just eliminated her, is literally shaking because she's just like, I mean, you just were confronted with that emotion. And like,
and RuPaul's just like, give me an Emmy.
It's just so good. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, popcorn, bitch.
I love it. Speaking of popcorn, that's what I wish I was eating watching these 2 episodes of The Nanny. So shall we get into it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's time for us to cover The Nanny Season 3, Episode 1 and 2. Episode 1 being The Pen Pal, and Episode 2 being Franny and the Professor.
She was there. That's how she became the nanny.
I did not have sexual relations with this sitcom. Is how I felt when Bill Clinton's brother fucking showed up again for no fucking reason.
Okay, I have to say, remember last season I was like, do you think Roger Clinton's ever going to show up again? And you were like, no. And in the back of my head, I was like, yeah.
And now he's a fucking regular because he's their fucking neighbor, which is stupid. You know what this screams? He wasn't making any money being the brother of Bill Clinton and decided, I need to get into this acting game. And
so good.
And he's terrible. He was like,
I will say this.
So bad.
Can I slightly spoil what his role is?
He's going to be their neighbor. He's going to show up more.
He's only one more episode.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. I want to
I'm good.
Let you down
for that. And it's the one where he dies in. They canonically kill off his brother.
Could you imagine? Now they mention him more often.
That's fine. They're all like, remember that time that person that no one talks about showed up on the show?
Roger Clinton, who no one had ever heard of, even though his brother was the president of the United States. And then he just showed up on the sitcom and people went, I guess Bill Clinton has a brother.
Yeah, right? Like, what the
Oh, man. And he had a recurring role. What the fuck? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and his role is people not knowing him. That's like
exactly. That's so, it's so self-referential.
Yeah, it's very weird. Wow.
But no, I like that you said I didn't have sexual relations because I was going to join with Cece. Do you want to have some fun? No.
Oh my God.
Isn't that illegal?
I fucking hate
against the law.
Okay.
I hate that so much. But anyway,
we need to get into these episodes. So.
Yes. So please give me your rating for the first one. Let's talk about the first one first, which is the Pen Pal, which is the season 3 opener. I think is one of the stronger episodes of the series. It's not just the season. I think it's a really strong episode altogether.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear your thoughts.
Okay. I would give the Pen Pal a 9.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I'm taking a 0.5 off is because season 3, I don't know if they switched the cameras or what. it feels more sitcom-y to the point where I was normally like in a Nanny episode, I am like invested and there's jokes and silliness. I don't know what was different about these 2 episodes. It felt like I knew that they were in front of an audience just saying lines. And I don't know if it's like there was more laughing that was happening in season 3, or there was like, I think them looking at the audience more when they were saying the lines, but it really felt like I was watching a live play. And like, that's what I felt like I was in the audience watching a live play.
I think I know what you're talking about with like looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Fran does it a lot more with like those moments where she's like, oh, wait. And she'll kind of like look like it's out of the corner of her eye, but she's kind of looking right not at the camera, but like right next to the camera.
And it also feels like she's like looking at the audience, and the audience is like laughing about it. And it's like, it wasn't awful, but it definitely took me out of the first 2 episodes. I'm sure I'll get over it. It just was a little jarring for me compared to season 2. Because in season 2, I honestly don't know what it is. Like, I think the only thing is I noticed that there was a lot more laughing in these 2 episodes. They would say like the dumbest thing that wasn't a joke, and they'd be like,
I can see
and there'd
that.
be like one person in the audience that was like, you can clearly tell was not a laugh track. There'd be like one guy going,
oh my God.
And I'm like,
this is probably the first time I've watched these episodes with headphones in, right? And at one point in one of the episodes, a woman so distinctly sneezes, and I've never noticed it before. And it was only in my left ear. So it must have been so soft that like if you're watching through normal speakers or a TV or something, you would never notice it. But I had my headphones, and you just say like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
That was actually where COVID started.
In the Nanny in 1996, bitches. This is what happened. I will say, I have an opposite feeling in that I actually like that they lean more into this like sitcom-y feel once you get into season 3, because it feels like they find their stride in like what is funny and what isn't.
Yeah.
Which I can completely understand. Again, as you were somebody who was just watching the show for the first time all the way through, that, you know, you're obviously going to have a different experience than me who's watched it 70,000 times.
Yeah.
But I have never enjoyed the stiffness of season 1 and a little bit of season 2.
It is very stiff.
Season 1 and season 2 are very stiff. You get into season 3 and everybody's looser. And I feel like everybody, physicality is much higher. The facial expressions are there. They just seem like this is like a part of their routine that they're used to. And maybe that's what you're picking up too.
Yeah,
is like,
I think it might be.
Is that there's almost like when you're acting, you're supposed to be reacting as if it's the first time you're hearing it. And like while that's happening, there's still a sense of like, we're in our groove, and like it's expected, and maybe that's what you're also feeling.
It might be, and again, I think I'll get used to it. It was just jarring for me after watching, like coming fresh off of season 2. I was like, "Ooh, this feels different," but like not in a bad way. It just like a change, and I fucking hate you. No, actually.
Also, the camera is so much better.
Is that what it is?
The camera quality is so much better. If you
maybe
watch,
that's what
season 1 is. Watch season 1, season 2, and you get traditional, like, oh, this feels like an older sitcom. Yeah. You get to like season 3, season 4 is even better, and then 5 and 6 have the same kind of feel. There's just like slight. It's not like it's HD, obviously, but they start to like really up the quality of it.
And the lighting seemed different. Like just
the lighting is so much brighter.
Off. Yeah, it seemed like off, but not in a bad way. It just was like, I was like, I don't know if this is the Nanny I'm used to, but I still liked it. In terms of the first episode, I felt like it was more structured than a normal Nanny episode.
Totally.
It had a definitive like beginning, middle, and end, which is jarring because the second episode I felt like needed more structure. And it was like, what am I watching? Yeah, there was no foundation. They were building.
The second episode had no B plot. So the fact that there's only one plot and yet there's like, it's multiple feelings of that plot is really weird. Versus this one, you have a very clear A plot and B plot.
Yes. I also.
And the kids are like not a part of any of it.
But I love that Brighton is clearly older. Like they don't like, I don't know time jump wise, like in the storyline, like how long it's been. I'm sure it's not been long. It's probably been like maybe a year.
I
Maybe
think
even
what
not
they
even that.
try to do is they're generally just like most sitcoms, like when we were growing up doing.
Yeah.
They're trying to be like, okay, now it's September because that's when the show would come out, right?
And like Maggie is clearly older. Like
Maggie is like fully like a 25-year-old model now.
Yes, she is fully in college. She's probably on plan B and like pregnancy tests and like all that. I don't know.
You're not
did I say
plan B.
I mean,
you're also not on a pregnancy test.
Oh, what did I say? I meant to say
birth control.
Birth control.
Oh my God.
Plan B of pregnancy.
You remember, like, you literally worked in like a sex ed center.
You know I'm gay. I'm like, like the Plan B or something.
You know how you're on Plan B? It's.
Could you imagine? That's fucking awful. Just like every day, you just take Plan B. You never know.
It's so bad for you.
That's
Can you
awful.
fucking imagine? Oh God.
No. Okay. Anyway, so
So in this, we're supposed to assume that Maggie is 16.
Oh, so there is a significant jump then, because she was 15 in the
Yeah,
second
I think
season.
like you have to just kind of assume that it's the next year up for everybody.
Okay.
Right?
Then that makes sense.
It's not
why
like they're going to celebrate all the birthdays because we've yet to see a birthday really celebrate. However, that's not true. I guess it does happen at some point. But anyway, so if you just kind of assume like they're a year older, so Maggie would be 16, Brighton would be like 13 or 14 at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely hitting puberty.
Yeah, and Gracie is now 8 or 9.
So. Yeah, and the kids, I think I see what you're saying, where there's going to be like less of them. They weren't even in episode 2, barely. And I think for like episode 1, I really liked it. It did, like you said, felt like a continuation of the season 2 finale, where they're really not hiding their feelings for each other as much, to the point where Nanny is like fully thinking about Maxwell openly a lot. Maxwell's definitely flirting with her very openly now, and I really liked, especially towards the end, where Fran says that she's going to think about him in the shower.
That's such a good line. He's like leading into that moment, did you think that something was going to happen, or did you know that it was?
Absolutely.
I figured as much too, because, having watched it a billion times, I've always felt like that just is so clear that nothing's going to happen, but they really build it up.
But I think that this confirms that they're absolutely going to get in a relationship, probably at the end of the season.
Okay. I think that that's a safe assumption based off of, everything here. And I think that too, that, what I love about that so much is like they have this whole episode is Fran and Maxwell go on a date without saying that they're going on a date. Right.
Yes.
And so like you said, this is like picking up the, the pace from where the season left off, or all of a sudden they just like at the end of season 2, like we're like, and now here's 2 episodes where they have chemistry. And it's like, whoa, okay. Yeah. Unlike, they had chemistry beforehand, but like really leaned into it.
Yeah.
This time it's like, okay, let's just start off. Let's make them really get into it. And then I do love that line. I'm just going to go take a shower and go to bed. Well, it goes, I think I'm just going to take a shower and go to bed. Well, that's ironic. I'm going to go to bed thinking about you taking a shower.
Yeah.
But also, that's not the only thing that happens romantically in this episode.
It's not. I need to tell you something. I hate Cece and Niles together, and I don't want it to ever happen again. Do
you actually think it's going to happen again?
I think they'll make references to it.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to actually happen. I think Niles would not ever let it happen. I think also they had some drinks in them. But I'm also not saying that it won't ever happen.
No, I think that's fair.
I I would be disappointed if there is this route where Cece and Niles get together, because my thoughts are I want Cece to feel empowered to go get a man and to go get a job, and like, or not job, but like, you know what I mean? Like not think of money, not think of money as like some flazé-da thing, and just like really get rooted and like make a life for herself outside of living in Maxwell's shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think that it would take the wind out of those sails if she were to just get with Niles, because honestly, she can do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could do better too. Like,
that's
it's
very
so
true.
It's just like, it doesn't make sense, right? It makes sense in the sense that like in the moment, but it doesn't make sense because like the whole point of the characters are supposed to be like against each other. But I hate, first of all, we need, and I know this was a very 90s thing.
Yes.
That I grew up with, as like, if a boy makes fun of you or hits you, it means he likes you. Actually, fuck that. Like, that's so abusive. Like, Niles is so abusive to Cece. And honestly, the other way around too. Like, even if they did like each other, that's so fucking abusive. Stop.
Yeah, it's gross. And I really thought that when Cece was leaving, that Niles was going to leave with her. I thought that's where it was going. And I was like, oh, please don't let this happen. That's so gross. Because she like looks at them both and then he leaves, or she leaves, and then he goes towards the door with her. And I was like, oh my God, what if they both left the
apartment? Then he goes upstairs to go to bed. I do love that line of his. Good night, people.
It's so silly.
We have to talk about one of my favorite scenes from all of the Nanny, which is cluck like a chicken.
Oh, that was so silly.
It's just like, on the one hand, so unbelievable that she wouldn't assume that maybe that's Niles. Because I know that he's,
and that voice sounds nothing like Maxwell.
Like and just like, like,
I think she low-key wanted it to be Niles.
I think she pre-gamed and was just horny.
That too.
She's like, I'm liquored up and I'm horny and I'm here for an
Could you imagine if Maxwell had come in
and did all
and then
that?
saw her? No, he saw her and he's just like, I have work to do. And just fucking ushered her out.
Could you imagine if he actually did have a chicken like fetish?
Oh my God. And then you just hear Fran clucking in the clack. I'm here for it.
Oh, Mr. Sheffield. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
I didn't realize this until you just did that, how much Lois from Family Guy is very much like Fran.
It's just the way I do Fran, which is just Lois Griffin.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, but it's like,
I'm holding iced tea.
But it's kind of like that funny laugh and that funny voice. I wonder if they were inspired.
Yeah. That is how Lois laughs. She does that like that. And then Fran will do like the which is more Peter Griffin.
Oh my God. The Nanny inspired Family Guy.
Which, like, don't tell either people from Boston or New York City that, because then it would be like, our accents are nothing alike, which is true. Their accents are nothing alike. But it's just the fact that New England is very nasal. Long Island, which is very close to New England, is also very nasal, which is where, Queens is and all that kind of stuff. So just a lot of nasal shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, that was really good. You can do that much better than I can. I slip over to Boston when I try to.
Girl, she's been slipping over to Boston. Actually, I love Boston.
I am going to Boston this weekend, actually.
Jealous.
I'm going for a bachelorette party where I will be the grandmother because everybody there will be 24 and I am a 33-year-old.
You're 20. Could you imagine showing up and you're like, I'm 20.
I can't even get into this club. I'm not old enough to drink.
And the bouncer's like, shut the fuck up and get inside.
Come on, Wrinkles, get in here. The best part is all these girls are like, we're going out to a club. And I fully said, I'm not going to go, but you girls have a wonderful time. I'm literally not going to go to the club for
Love that.
one reason and one reason only. It's called COVID.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Boston recently, and now New York City has lifted the vaccine mandate to go into like restaurants and clubs and such. So there's that. Two, even when the mandate was in place, I've looked at all the photos of these two clubs that they're considering going to. Elbow to elbow, no masks, no ma'am.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, I'm like, I also hate clubs. So like, why would I go to a place that I hate and risk exposure when I am a little higher risk anyway, when I can just like, you know what? I know I'm staying with all those girls, but at least I'd be less likely to get it from all of them than I would be in a whole crowded club.
Yeah. I'm like actually nervous about that because I'm going to a party in April called the birthday ball for there's this YouTuber named Berleezy, and he invited me to go to it. And so I was like super scared because I was like, it's a ticketed event. People are going. Then he let me know like all of him and his friends, we have VIP section. So
cool.
We don't need to be near people if we don't want to. So I'm going to try to like keep my distance from everyone and just stick with like the group in the VIP section. And like keep my distance as best as I possibly can, but we'll see.
Side note for something too. This is just Beth getting a soapbox for a brief sec, but I don't want to see people shaming other people for wearing masks this time around. Because
fuck 'em.
I was really upset when people were like, how dare that person wear a mask? That means they're not or that means they're unvaccinated, that they're a piece of shit. And I'm like, well, first of all, no, it doesn't. Thank God they're wearing masks. So like, don't shame people for wearing a mask. Even if they're vaccinated and they feel they might just be doing it anyway. So like, allow people to wear masks now that like mandates are going away. Anyway, back to these episodes.
Yes.
So the pen pal episode, there's one really off color in 2021 joke.
Oh my God. I like gasped at the joke. I was like, no way that this was a joke that was made.
Yeah.
Very transphobic joke.
Very transphobic joke. And unfortunately, the person, it's all unfortunate. It's like it overshadows a really kind of cute, fun moment between her and Maxwell, where Maxwell's being like protective, but also between her, like Fran Drescher's actual husband at the time, who's the one who's hitting on her at the bar. And so it's just like, oh, now you're going to sit here and you're like, oh yeah, my wife was pissed, but I felt like I was trapped in my own body. Like, fuck off. Like, that's just so transphobic.
Yeah, it was. At the time, I'm sure it was hilarious and like wasn't off color at all. But nowadays, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
It was definitely a punching down joke. But I thought overall the restaurant scene was really cute. I loved the interactions between Fran and Maxwell. I like when they just have like honest moments with each other where they just tell each other how they feel about a certain situation or a different thing that happens in the episode. I also really liked that we got to see Fran make out with a cute guy that was really tall. So I'm here for that.
I wanted to actually ask you a question. So when we discussed season 3, you felt like this would be this, like season 1 was the introduction of her as the nanny. Season 2 was like really getting into like, you know,
the dynamics of
the dynamics. And this one we were saying was going to be the season of them potentially getting together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, even though she's clearly interested in Maxwell, she just like immediately tossed him away to go make out with this guy, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be a trend in this season, or do you think that she's going to be dating much more than she had been, or do you think that she's going to be doing more with Maxwell?
No, I think they'll definitely still have her see other men and do other things, and maybe even have Maxwell do the same, because I think like the more you get them to see other people, the more they realize how much they prefer to be together and how much better the both of them are together. I think that's like a common thing in these types of shows, and it's like sitcoms like this. They want you to be there and just be like, why aren't they together? And then eventually they build up until they can actually give you that moment.
Gotcha.
One thing that I do think though, that was a concern in this episode specifically is Maxwell's pants were not showing any bulge. And 90s, I'm going to need you to stop.
It was concerning.
It was very concerning.
Actually, can we have a moment for the lack of bulge? Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so Maxwell, we need you to fix that. And
Maxwell's dresser, we're going to need you to fix
We're going to need you to fix that. I'm going to go back in time and make sure they fix that. I think overall, though,
there's such thing as editing that we could do now. Like, why can't we just edit in a bulge?
A CGI bulge on his fucking pants. like you know how they did with the original Star Wars, and they fucking did the director's cut with the CGI and just added needless aliens for no fucking reason. Insane.
Or like the ghosts and the end of Return of the Jedi when they had like put the ghosts of Anakin and such in there. Just imagine the ghost of his bulge, just like
and it's just like a heavy, needless bulge.
Just a heavy ball sack right there.
You're like, what is it's like hits the counter and they CGI or they digitally added like noises.
Oh my god, I can't do.
I need someone to do that now. Just
get Josh.com
for
on
no
that.
reason.
Get Josh.com on that.
Yeah, Josh, you got this. Okay, so overall, I think my outfit of the episode for this one was the red and black pleather jacket. I actually did not like the black and gold dress. I liked the black and gold dress by itself. I did not like it with the coat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
That's fair.
The coat makes her look boxy. And I was not
it
here
doesn't
for
come
it.
in the middle for like a waist. If it did a little bit more, it'd be cute. I actually liked it when she had it open, but not when she had it closed. She had it open, you could tell there's a dress because you could see the shape of the dress.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
Yeah, I thought the red and black pleather jacket was the go-to. I also love the Jack the Lad joke, and she's like, "Everyone has that face."
A curiosity face. There's so many things that I love about that scene where he's throwing huge words, or like, like he says that I actually didn't. I learned some vocabulary growing up because of this show, because of Maxwell, and
love that.
Now it's slipping my mind. I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, I learned vocabulary, but I forgot the word that he says what that means before dinner drink. And she's like, no, I'll just have a before dinner drink. Like, this is like stuff like that is clearly showing that like, not only do they have like a different sense of language and like culture and such, but that I like that he just kind of like either laughs it off and just like continues on, but like doesn't make fun of her for it. Whereas normally in the house, he might like say something, Yeah. So it's just like a little cute thing there.
I think this is a great episode, but I'm ready to
do you want to do MVP, LVP now, or do you want to wait until?
Yeah, let's do MVP.
Okay, so who's your MVP?
MVP for this episode would probably be Maxwell for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really like that he was, even though it was self-serving, he was being empathetic towards Fran wanting to meet this guy that she's never met before, and did the nice guy thing of driving her. He didn't have to go inside, but he did. But I think that's more of the self-serving thing of wanting to go inside just to compare himself to this other man. But I thought it was really good, and it was very out of character for Maxwell. It was very
debonair with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think this is just me being a woman who's like flat out afraid of men. I really like that, having someone who, I mean, Fran's been on dates with plenty of people, I'm sure, but there is a certain level of like, she's really nervous about this one. And what if he's not what he seems? What if he's afraid of the fact that I'm not going to be what I told him I was? And just like having someone there to be there supportive with you is like, makes that so much nicer.
Yeah, it's real. I thought it was really nice of him. And I think like, can we have more of that? If you're going on a blind date with someone, bring a friend. And even if the friend just like tags along and then says, hey, yo, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Like after you meet the person. I think that's cool.
I am a big fan of that. I also like, just generally speaking, if I ever go out on a date with somebody, I always make sure to text like my sister-in-law or somebody and say like someone who's in the city or like Tyler and be like, hey, just so you know, I'm going to be at this place at this time. If I don't text you within an hour to let you know how things are going, then I need help.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just like, it might seem extra, but you know what? Get better safe than sorry.
Yep. Okay, so episode 2, Franny and the Professor. If I had to rate this one, I would give it a 5 out of 10.
I think that's a fair rating.
Really did not like this episode. I liked the last half of this episode. Really did not like the first half. I thought it was just not funny at all. All of the scenes between Cece and her brother were funny, but I don't know the name of the actor that plays her brother.
It's like McKean or something like that is his last name, right? Like Michael McKean.
He was hilarious. I thought he was great. I was already tired of his character after like 2 scenes. I was like,
here's the thing. That's the character he plays all the time too, right? And everything that he ever guested on, like that is Michael McKean's character.
He literally played that character in Clue.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the same character.
He was a little bit more nervous in Clue though. Like he was much more like, he was less like arrogant skittish. And more skittish. But here it's just, I don't know.
I thought Cece was great. I thought Noel was great. I really enjoyed the moments where Fran got to show her smarts. But I'm really sick of this joke that Fran is stupid. And I get it if it's for like 1 or 2 scenes, but I don't think it's humor that can last an entire episode. And normally when we have these scenes where she's trying to be like the Lucy Liu, the seal ball of the 90s. My favorite thing. The Lucy Liu of the 90s. Oh, you know, Lucy Liu. No.
I was like, Lucy Liu was the Lucy Liu of the 90s.
Exactly. When Fran was like when she's trying to be like the Lucille Ball, it's funny because of her motions and what she does. And it's like usually just for that scene, but the rest of the episode, she's just Fran. And this one, I felt like we got a very dumbed down Fran on purpose for the sake of the episode. And on top of that, there is way too much buildup for the payoff of her being on Jeopardy, which is clearly the funniest part of this episode to me.
Well, it's also clearly like, oh wow, we were able to get Alex Trebek and go to Jeopardy.
So get on the set of Jeopardy.
Let's come up with a story about it. Like that's what it clearly was. And then on the other hand of it, we've already had this storyline, right?
Yes.
In the 3rd or 2nd episode of the entirety of the series in season 1, where they do the whole My Fair Lady thing of trying to make over Fran so that she's like, you know, someone where she does the how now brown cop. Like we've already had this kind of theme of an episode. So to me, it just feels like they threw together this episode in order to like get her onto Jeopardy.
And that's fully what it was. And don't get me wrong, the Jeopardy stuff was great, but goddamn, the minute that Noel gets her on the show, he's gone. And I'm just like, okay, so we just like added him in to like have someone smart teach Fran how to be smart.
Yeah.
And then we're meant to believe that she passed the test.
How? Yeah. I thought that there would be something where like she flirted with the guy and got on Jeopardy or something. But like apparently no, she really
And I'm like, that is not an easy test to get on Jeopardy.
And also, this happens at the very end, but I hate this so much. I zero in on it every time. She has this whole joke about she's going through all her different kinds of rice-a-roni. Yes. And she's like, and I only have 5 cheddar and herb. Now, someone at Jeopardy isn't very smart. Isn't that ironic? And then 1 second later, Maxwell walks in and she has 6 of it all of a sudden. Like the whole point was that she only why does she have a 6th one now?
I don't know.
It's just weird continuity shit with this episode. Like I know that's really nitpicky, but still.
No, it's true. Because if that's the joke, The joke is now ruined because of the fact that there's 6 there.
Unless she's like, if she had openly like then put the 6th one on top as like a joke to be like she's trying to scam Jeopardy out of one more rice-a-roni, like that is absurdly.
That's funny. That's very funny.
But like the fact that it's not shown and all of a sudden she has 6, I'm like, I can't tell if this is a blooper or what.
Yeah. I also, as much as I'm like applauding the Jeopardy section, I also hate how predictable it is that obviously Fran is going to win. But I love the Maxwell scenes yet again in this episode because
Wait, I just realized, did you say LVP for the last episode?
Oh, I didn't. My LVP for the last episode would probably be Lenny. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah. I can't give it to Lenny. Lenny wasn't even on screen. I would probably give it to Niles for taking advantage of a obviously intoxicated Cece. Even though Cece was probably into it, she did not give enthusiastic consent to that making out.
She goes right into it with her chest. Like this.
She just starts gyrating.
Oh boy.
I
do like when she says goodbye though. She's like, swine.
Yeah.
Chicken.
It's so good.
Stupid.
It's so good.
Okay. Going back, you said you liked Maxwell's scenes in this one.
Yeah, I liked Maxwell's scenes in this one. And if we get more of this Maxwell in season 3, Maxwell might be my favorite character in season 3 because we're getting a lot of character development from season 2. He has not been sexist. He comes from a place of Fran on Jeopardy, no way. And then, but he doesn't like, obviously he reacts like anyone else would. But then like when he sees how excited she is that she got on Jeopardy, instead of ruining her shine like he would have in season 1 and 2 and rubbed it in her face, he's like, you know what? I'm proud of you. You did a good job. And doesn't expose Noel for everything before she's on the show or anything like that. And honestly, Maxwell, you're already my MVP for this episode as well. Like, I think he did a really good job of being like a really good support to Fran. And I would have given it to Fran, but I don't like how like dumb she is in this episode. I was like, this is not the Fran that like I'm used to. You're being stupid to be stupid.
I think now that you're saying this, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think also maybe this is a part of what you're feeling that's a little different because Fran's also having her dumb moments in the first episode too.
Yeah.
And she's always been written as not as classy or as cultured in some ways as the Sheffields, but she's never been written intentionally dumb. She might have a dumb moment every once in a while, but she's never written as intentionally dumb. And while I've never actually had to like reflect and think of it this way, I think they kind of dumbed down her character a little bit moving forward, but not like a whole episode dedicated to how dumb she is. Like they will do that once or twice more just to put that out there, but not like, but I do think that you're going to have more jokes about her like not understanding something that we didn't.
Yeah, and we've had that also. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's there's a difference between having it be in a scene and having it be the plot of the episode.
Correct.
And when it's the plot of the episode, it's just not as believable because you mean to tell me this is the same Fran that like fought for like union worker rights at a protest? I was like, no, this is not the same Fran. This Fran would have no idea what a protest is.
Or a union.
Or a union, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't great. The structure wasn't amazing. And honestly, the saving grace of this episode is that those Maxwell moments and the payoff of the Jeopardy. Because it was really cool to see Alex Trebek, especially after he recently passed. Like, it was really cool to like see him in a young version of himself in this episode.
With like awesome. The whole do you remember when Alex Trebek had a mustache?
Yes. Show? Oh my God.
It's
and
like
he looked good.
Times. I have to remember though, is that the actual Jeopardy set? It was all red. I don't remember it being red in the old days. I always thought it was gray or like a blue gray. And then I think they've updated it to be like more in the blue theme too. But
I'm wondering if this is like, I'd have to like look into this. I'm wondering if this is like the last few times they've used this set, and that's why they allowed them to film.
They're like, it's before we throw it out. Sure, we'll let the nanny film here. Yeah. I have to say this. Maxwell in this episode, when he's in the crowd watching Fran, looks so hot with his glasses on.
Oh my God.
Right?
And he's like sitting there so supportive and
like this, like, oh, like I love a little like intelligent king. Like it was so good. Oh my
God. I was wet the entire time. And it's because I pissed myself from laughter.
Well, I was just going to. Not in this episode.
Not in this episode, I didn't. That's from the carryover from the first episode.
That's right.
Oh, I just sat in that shit. No, just kidding. I'm sorry.
I need your husband to come collect you. We're done here. Thank you.
And we're done.
Any other thoughts on this episode?
This is the episode where I said there's too much laugh track or there's too much laughter. It's taking me out of the episode.
There's also a sneeze.
Yeah, it's. Okay. I don't know if the cast or not the cast, the audience was just very rowdy this episode, but it took me out several times. Also, the plot sucked, so like I think that's another reason why it took me out.
I think this is clearly one of the weakest episodes of season 3. I'm happy that it gets out of the way really early in season 3, to be honest with you. But I do think that this is clearly one of the weakest ones and that most of them have a similar feeling as the first one. So I think that's what's exciting.
I'm hyped. My outfit of the episode was the blue animal print sequin jacket that Fran wears. It was so cute. It was very drag. I was like, this is an outfit that a drag artist would wear for sure. Both king or queen. Like, this is a phenomenal jacket.
It was really cute. My favorite thing that you reacted to was clearly your least favorite outfit of the episode when she came down in the dress that had like, it was like turquoise and purple with like the purple beaded things. You literally, this is your exact face. I'm sorry to those that are on audio only, but if you're watching the YouTube video, this was Dylan's exact face. She comes down and he goes,
literally.
And I laughed not at the show, but at Dylan's face, which he could not control in that second.
Yeah, I'm getting more visceral reactions each episode as the fashion just gets weird. Like, she thought that was a cute dress to wear in front of someone that was hot. I was like, you should just kept what you were wearing before because that looked better.
I know. It would have been better if she had just like started off the episode in like jeans and a sweater or something, right? And then she's like, I have to change. So even if it's into that like ugly ass dress, at least it makes sense because she like wanted to be in a dress.
So my LVP for this is going to be Cece for trying to fuck her brother.
That was fucking weird.
I thought it was hilarious, though.
It was so funny. It's funny, but in a way that's like, where did that come from?
No,
isn't that against the law?
Imagine he was just like, I don't care.
Imagine if it's also the way he says that line, though. He just sits there and goes, Cece, want to have a little fun? No, isn't that against the law?
Cece's so stupid. I love it.
Every time I see that, it's like a cringe laugh I do. And that was another great moment of watching it. This is why I so enjoy watching this show with you, because like I got the payoff I needed to, because your face was literally like, oh, ew, what? Like, there's so many changes. It was great. Great. You really gave.
Oh, I'm giving.
You're giving.
This episode though. So MVP, LVP. Yep. What are the names of the next 2 episodes?
Yes. So season 3, episode 3 is called Dope Diamond.
Okay. I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
This came out obviously in the mid-90s.
Yep. September 1995.
And hip hop and rap were kind of on the rise in the mid 90s. I think this is the episode where shit gets cringe. And Maxwell and Fran find themselves in maybe a seedier part of New York. And it's about them having to get back to the upper part of like the fancier part of New York by interacting like a New Yorker, taking the subway, but the sketchy subway. It's a very New York heavy episode.
Gotcha.
I feel.
No, not even a little bit. But I appreciate that thought. Also, I don't know if people realize this or not. The Diamond District is actually like a really rough area of Midtown, which doesn't sound like it would be. But as you were thinking about that, I thought, well, it didn't used to be. It actually used to be like, and there still are like a lot of jewelers there, but at night when all the jewelry's closed and such, and they're like heavily armored, so it's like hard, like obviously you're not going to break into them. There's like, fortunately, it's like where a lot of homeless people gather because it's right off of like Times Square. It's between Times Square and excuse me, and Grand Central Station. So it's just like this cross area where people are coming from the theater to go back onto the trains to go out of, to leave. And so it just gets a lot of traffic. And so there's just like a lot of people ready to like either jump you or like beg for money and that kind of thing. So it's just like kind of sketch. But I just got thinking about that when you were talking.
I think it'd be a funny episode too. I think I'd be a little worried though, because I could see the nanny getting very racist. Very quickly.
Definitely.
That's why I was like, I feel like this is the episode where things get cringe.
Yeah. So no, that's not what it's about. So you'll have to find out. The second one, episode 4, is called A Fine Family Feud.
Ooh. Okay. Obviously, this is about Fran's family. Yeah. Maybe the issue here is we see her cousin come back, the one that she used to have a fight with all the time. And Marcia comes back. Maybe she has since left her husband and tries to get with Maxwell again after learning how much money I thought, or not again. I'm sorry. I'm getting episodes mixed up.
Oh, were you thinking about her sister?
No, I was thinking of her sister. I meant her cousin, though. I wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
I was conflating her sister and her cousin together.
I mean, they basically had so much similar that were.
So Marcia tries to get with Maxwell, and this lights jealousy up for Fran because maybe what happens is Maxwell starts seeing Marcia without knowing that it is Fran's cousin.
Okay.
And maybe Fran's like, okay, invite this girl that you're like seeing now. And then it's Marcia. And Fran gets pissed because it's her cousin. And then they both start having this tiff. And he's like, whoa, I didn't know it was your family. I'm done. I'm out of this. And then that's how this whole thing.
Okay. No, it's not the correct family member or the correct storyline.
Oh, damn.
But remember I was just saying like what I thought the kids' ages were? I will say it's Maggie's 16th birthday. Remember I was like, they don't have episodes related to the kids. And then I thought about it.
They had an episode for Maggie for her birthday, didn't they, in season 1?
Yeah, and this is going to be a Maggie birthday party here.
I'm sorry, Gracie in season 1.
So we've got Maggie's 16th birthday party is at the center of some of the drama.
I can't wait. That sounds fun.
And I don't want to give anything away for the third one because if I even say something, it just kind of like defeats the whole purpose of watching it.
We're watching 3 next week. I forgot.
Wait, no. I meant like episode 3, not like.
Oh, okay. You confused me.
We're not watching.
I know we are watching 3 in season 3.
Yeah, at some point. It's not going to be next week.
Okay.
Although that one afterwards is good. You're gonna love episode 5 for a few jokes in it that are good coming off the top of my head.
Okay, I'm excited.
So those are the 2 episodes. I will say that there are Lainey Kazan, who you would probably never know in your life. is like a big Broadway person from the 80s and 70s. And she's like a fabulous singer. And she is a recurring guest, like a recurring guest in the sense that she shows up a few times throughout the series, but isn't like a recurring role. And so she makes her first appearance in one of these episodes. So I'm excited.
Ooh.
Because she's fun.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So this has been amazing. If you are new here, consider giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Considering that sub button on YouTube, it helps us out tremendously. And consider giving us a follow on Twitter at Hot Mess Moments. If you want to talk the nanny, though,
you got to hit me up. Hit up those. I mean, you could hit me up my DMs if you want, but you could also just tweet at me. That kind of thing.
At Augusta Wind 11.
Yeah.
Don't tweet the nanny stuff at me at 8-Bit Dylan. I don't want any spoilers because this is a spoiler-free review / recap podcast. We will be back here on Thursday covering season 3, episodes 1 and 2 of Lost, where Beth's going to get into some theories and some craziness that went down in that season 3 premiere.
A whole bunch of misogyny. I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh my God. This season 3, the first part is definitely the season to make you really hate the men.
I'm already there.
Yeah, we're there, baby. We're there. But we'll talk more about that on Thursday. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We will see you all on Thursday. And until then, stay awesome, stay beautiful, you lovely people.
Bye.